before it evaporated as she grunted and strained at her labours. And she wept. She wept because she was afraid. She wept because she was alone. She wept because she had not heeded the warnings. She had been told they were dangerous, these men, but she had believed she could handle them. She had powers too. She had knowledge. She could protect herself. And yet they had come for her. They had sent it after her, and she could not control it. She paused, glanced at the flanks of the mountain, sheened with frost and raked by the moonbeams breaking through the cloud cover. They said it was home to 3 witches, and she wished they were here now to aid her. They would know what to do, how to combat that which lay behind. And they would know what lay ahead. The witches were but myth, however. The blade in her hand and the creature lurking in the darkness, and the terror that escaped from her chest in huge racking sobs. They were real. She dug, edging around the damp earth on her knees, estimating the sharp angles needed. She wished she had more time to do the job properly, but knew she did not. For it was close now. She couldn't see it and she couldn't hear it, but she could feel it, could sense its consciousness reaching out through the cold dark night, searching for her, calling her name in a low seductive voice, as if it were a lover wooing her to bed. She heard it snuffling, faintly, as it sifted the air for traces of her blood and her terror. It had appeared while she was performing a simple cleansing ritual. It had been more a sensation than a manifestation. The candles guttered as if being breathed upon. A golden glow spread its warmth from the wood burner in the hearth, but its temperature dropped with unnerving suddenness, and she knew something had joined her. She had sensed it prowling in the shadows between the flames and hanging in the dark corners. She had felt its eyes upon her, and her flesh tingled, as if its breath had reached out from the blackness to caress her. And then she heard the voice. Deep, silken, slithering from the shady spaces, oozing from another dimension, the words unintelligible to her, but attempting to burrow deep into her thoughts, tonguing phrases from an arcane language, coating her consciousness with slime. And she'd known what it was and why it was there. This creature was not of flesh and sinew, but it meant her harm. It pried and probed at her mind, trying to nestle within, to take root. And if she allowed that, it would shred her consciousness, her soul, as easily as tearing paper. She could still feel it in her brain when she burst from the cottage, the sensual voice worming after her from the shadows. But as she'd hurtled through the darkness onto the moors, she felt its grasp of her consciousness weaken, lessen, diminish until she knew she was free. Temporarily. And now she dug, frantically, urgently, crafting a symbol that would protect her. But she could feel it had found her once more. A murmur somewhere deep in her mind, caressing her thoughts and dreams, piercing her psyche like a stiletto. She dug, gulping air as she worked at the earth, a straight line here, a sharp angle there, and finally, as perfect a circle around the 5 points as she could craft. Louder now, the voice, the ancient words still obscure, meaningless, but their intent becoming even clearer now it had found her again. She lay down in the centre of the symbol she had carved, stretched out her arms and legs, positioning her body into a semblance of the shape she had fashioned out of the cold ground. The voice died abruptly, like a phone being cut off. It would hold. The circle would hold. It had been hurried and frenzied, but it would hold. She was safe. She felt its presence, though, moving in the frost and the night, looking for a way to reach her. She lay there, sensing but not seeing the creature as it circled her, feeling its rage build both at her and the protective circle holding it at bay. But it couldn't get at her, not in here, so it moved round and round and round, each lunge at her defences rebuffed. And then it howled, a howl of fury, a howl of impotency. The frost settled around her as she waited for morning to come. Chapter 2. Monday. Inverness, the Scottish Highlands. "You're looking a lot better these days," Elspeth MacTaggart said as she sipped coffee from a mug so large she'd need a life jacket if she fell in. Rebecca Connolly.